Welcome to another episode in the AssistSchools PowerSchool Basics training video series. In this episode, we will be looking at custom field data migration. This subject is not really a basic subject, it's probably more intermediate, but we're including it here because it is so vital that you do it. PowerSchool now requires that custom fields be migrated. Let's begin. We need to make sure we are logged into the district office. At this point, we want to navigate to System, Page and Data Management, Custom Field Data Migration. Here you'll get the standard warnings that this is a one-time irreversible data with several notes, please have a backup, and such. The process, after you've had backups completed, is to select the set that you want to migrate. You'll see a number of items on this list. Many of these might be your virtual table migrations. Some of these will be state-specific custom fields. Each state will have a different list. There will also be core fields if you haven't migrated those yet, and user custom fields. It's best to migrate everything. It's pretty simple. We'll start with a custom field that is not a virtual table. The first thing we'll do is we click the Validate State Data. And it will tell you when it's complete whether or not there were issues found. In my case, none. Some data sets might take a while to process, and you'll see a incrementing timer for the refresh rate. Just go ahead and let that run. If no issues are found, you'll click Return to Data Migration. If issues are found, you'll be given a list of those issues and a chance to modify each record. After this, we want to click Migration Readiness Check. This will usually result in Readiness Check OK. There are some instances in some states when you are migrating your virtual tables that some processes were run in the background when PowerSchool started up. If any of those processes failed that would prevent migration, those would show up here on this readiness check. You'll be given instructions as to which of the various migrations failed with some explanations regarding the data errors that were found. In this case, contact PowerSchool customer support and have them help you resolve those issues. I'll close this box since my check was okay. Now, if you want, you can perform step 3 and step 4. Those will print some various reports. In this case, they're unnecessary for me. So I'm just going to click the Next button, and I will see the Migrate field. Once again, they warn you, make sure you have your data backed up. There is no undo to this process. I'll click Migrate Fields. It will run. It might take a few seconds. It might take a few minutes, depending on your data set. Some large school districts might run for quite a while if there is a large amount of data to be migrated. Here you can see that I had 0 records migrated and 1 custom field migrated. This was a very simple example. I can now click Next. I can see history of previous migrations I performed. Here you can see I have already completed my core fields and some virtual tables, but not all. Now at this point you could click Previous, but it doesn't really help you so much. I have found that it's best to refresh your screen by clicking on the breadcrumb Page and Data Management, re-clicking on Custom Field Data Migration so that this list is refreshed. You might also run a bookmark of this page. I happen to have one on my toolbar that I just put CFMIG, which brings me to this page directly. Now we'll take a look at user-created custom fields. I'll run my readiness check. Everything looks good. Next, Migrate Fields. You'll notice there was no validation on the user field migration. This is because all user fields are copied over into text fields. Those are very tolerant of data issues because it won't look for such things as dates, and numbers. It will assume everything is a text, and it can copy that without a concern. It's the state custom fields and the virtual table migrations that will actually change the values from the text fields or the text data that was saved in a user field or a custom field and put it into a proper numeric or date field in Oracle. That's why it must check to see if the data is actually valid. We're going to let this run and come back when it's done. All right, we can see now that 19,277 records were migrated, and there were 67 custom fields migrated. That took a couple of minutes to do. We'll just hit next. You can get our list. Everything is looking good. Now let's try a virtual table. Go back to Page and Data Management. Go back to my custom field data migration. Now we'll find a virtual table. For California, there are a number of them. We'll select something that might have a little bit more data. In my particular data set, not too many, but there should be quite a number of CalPADS staff assignments. So this is a good one for us to validate. It did not find any problems, so that means numbers were only found in expected number fields, and only dates were found in expected date fields. Readiness check, everything's good. And we will click Next and Migrate. Okay, it's done. That took several minutes for it to complete on my system. As you can see, it took a long time, even though 0 records were migrated and only 19 fields were migrated. Sometimes that's just what happens. All right, that's enough samples for today. In your situation, you can continue going through. I recommend that you migrate everything on your list until they are complete. And I also recommend that this be done on a weekend or an evening or during some break so that you are not interfering with your workflow during the day. These fields are fields that could be used during the normal business day, and you don't want to change them during that process. I'll return to my homepage and conclude. So thank you for watching our video, and we hope you found it valuable. If you're ever in need of assistance with your own PowerSchool implementation, be sure to visit our website, www.AssistSchools.com, where you'll find our contact information, including our phone number. Thank you very much, and we'll see you in our next episode.